My name is Ed Walker, and this is Carolina Bronze. I would say we are the premier fine arts foundry on the East Coast. We are centrally located on the eastern seaboard. We attract people from all over the East Coast and find that people from New York, where it used to be the place to cast, like to come here because it's so quiet and pleasant. And of course, our prices are better as well. One of the most rewarding things about this company is that we build things that are permanent. In our throwaway society across the world, we build things meant to last, not just for our lifetime, but many beyond that. It is very rewarding to be able to do that. It means a lot. It means a lot to my employees as well. They take great pride in what they do. The most common thing that we do is to make castings for sculptors who create their own original sculpture, usually in clay, sometimes other materials, but most commonly in clay. We rubber mold that sculpture using a silicone-based rubber and other materials to create the mold to make copies of their original. Once that is done, we cast wax into the rubber mold, making a copy of the clay original. Take that out of the mold, do some detailing to correct seam lines, air bubbles, things that didn't come out exactly right. We closely compare that to the original to make sure we are very accurate. And then we add on wax sticks and a wax funnel to create a pouring system. Then take the wax pattern with the pouring assembly into the ceramic mold shop and create ceramic molds over the wax. Once they are done, the finished mold is put into a kiln at 1750 degrees, burning the wax out, and that creates what is known as the lost wax process, a very old traditional method of casting, even though we do have some modern technology mixed in with that. Thin metal is melted, poured into the ceramic mold, which is used one time only. It has no seams. And then as the metal cools, or after it cools, the mold is broken away from the casting. If we make more than one of the same piece, we make another wax casting, another ceramic mold, and another bronze casting. After the casting is removed from the mold, there's still work to do. For small pieces, they may be cast in one casting. Larger ones are cast in multiple castings and then assembled. There is metal finishing, it's called chasing, to finish the surface out as accurately as possible by comparison to the original. Those pieces, if it's a multiple casting or assembled, seams finished so that they can't be seen anymore. And then the final step is to apply chemical coloring to create the kind of coloring on the bronze piece that the customer would like to have. There's quite a range of colors to be applied to bronzes. That also acts as something like paint on a house. It protects the bronze and keeps it stable for many years to come, especially if it's outdoors. We offer many things besides basic casting and sculpting. One of the things that propelled the company to where it is today is digital scanning and enlargements. We started doing that in 2008 when very few art foundries in the country had that capability. And if you remember, we were in the midst of a recession or a setback, whatever you want to call it. Unlike other companies that were tightening their belts, I thought of what I needed to do to expand and draw in more of a client base. And that was something I'd read a lot about and was coming online to be used in the art industry, and decided I wanted to be the first, and was the first on the East Coast to do that. We have had many clients over the years, many of the universities in this state, other states as well, churches, seminaries, hospitals, There are so many, it's hard to name them all. Some of the more notable clients would be the Reagan Foundation, George Bush President's Library Foundation, Ronald Reagan World Trade Center, just to name a few. We were fortunate to be able to cast 2 versions of Pope John Paul II for the Pope John Shrine in Washington, D.C. The first piece was cast, sculpted by Chaz Fagan from Charlotte, a sculptor with whom we do many pieces for the inside entry at the shrine. They loved it so much they decided they wanted a much larger piece for the outside of the shrine to attract people into it. I would say I'm most proud of my own work, but I'm a bit prejudiced. One of my recent pieces was a remake of the Daniel Chester French Minuteman to commemorate the first skirmish of the Revolutionary War at the Old North Bridge in Concord, Mass. Mine is at the new headquarters for the Virginia National Guard in Richmond, Virginia. Some other pieces that I would say I'm really proud of are the ones sculpted by Chaz Fagan. He's an excellent sculptor, gaining wider and wider recognition. I'm convinced he'll be in the history books one day. I'm very proud to be part of that. Thank you for taking a look at what Carolina Bronze can do for you. We appreciate any and all visitors. Come see us anytime. My name is Ed Walker with Carolina Bronze Sculpture Incorporated.